Welcome to Adventures in Life. I'm Earl Beecher, your host. Today we're very favored to have a musical show. One of my very favorite groups, Dr. Toot, and his musical medicine show. Music is the best medicine, and they have a brand new CD here with some of your favorite songs in it. And I want to start by introducing Dr. Toot himself, John Linfers. John, could you give us a little of your background so that people know some of the things you've done?
Well, I've been a professional musician all my life. I taught music for 40 years, but before that I worked for Spike Jones and wrote music for his TV show. I worked for David Rose and worked for his TV show.
That's about as far apart on the spectrum as you can get, isn't it?
It truly was. But it was very enjoyable. It was a great time, and this was the early days in the 50s of television, so I was still in college when I was doing that.
And we have sitting next to Dr. Toot, Walt Hackler.
How do you do?
And Walt, you play the big saxophone, and
yes,
John plays the little one, and he's the group leader. Is that how that worked out?
Right. This is the bass, and that's the soprano saxophone.
I see. Walt, did you bring this bottle in?
As a matter of fact, those are things that we have along on our medicine show is all old.
But we're not supposed to have liquor in the studio, and this says it's 151 proof.
It's only filled with spirit.
With spirit.
Right.
Well, I want to make sure our viewers know it's made from the finest ingredients. It has Dixie, swing, blues, and jazz.
All played with lots of spirit.
Lots of spirit. I wonder, John, if we could get you to introduce the members of the group, if you would, please.
Sure. On trumpet, we have Frank White. On trumpet, Dave Martin. On trombone, Mike Sharp. On drums, Shelley Gordon.
In the front, we have Ed Mirrlees on the piano, with Roger Layden on alto, and Bill Orr on tenor and vocals.
So Bill is going to be doing some singing for us.
Sure is.
A little later in the show. Okay, this is Dr. Toot and the Musical Medicine Show. Dr. Toot, you have a signature song?
Yes, it's called Toot Toot Tootsie.
Well, that's as good a lead-in as we can ask for, so we'll ask you to play that for us now.
We'd be happy.
Orleans, in the land of dreamy scenes, there's a Garden of Eden, that's what I mean. 3 old babies with flashing eyes softly whisper with tender sighs, stop, oh won't you give your lady fair a little smile? Stop, you bet your life you'll linger there a little while. There is heaven right here on earth with those beautiful queens way down yonder in New Orleans.
That was Dr. Toot with his musical medicine show, and we enjoyed hearing Kansas City Bill Orr on that vocal. He does several vocals in your new CD.
Oh, yes.
In fact, about every third number is a vocal, and yet a lot of instrumentals. John, your music has a special flavor. It's all happy music. It makes me think of good times. I've been telling people I think this is the ultimate party record.
And it's the best medicine.
And it's the best medicine. All right, there we go. How did you happen to pick the name Dr. Toot?
Well, that was a name that was conferred upon me back when I was an elementary music teacher. I had a little girl that was in my class, and she was learning to play the saxophone. And one day she comes up to me and says, "My tutor doesn't work." So I picked up her saxophone and adjusted the reed so it would play, and she takes the saxophone back, and as she's going back to her seat, she says, "Thank you, Dr. Toot."
And you decided you liked the name.
Well, I got stuck with it. I don't know if I liked it. But
I see. Now, the arrangements that you have, your band has a different flavor.
Yeah.
it has a very different flavor. It makes me think of the 1920s or even earlier. Or what style of music? How would you describe it?
Well, it's a transitional from the 20s Paul Whiteman music to the 30s swing. We use a bass saxophone instead of a string bass, which was 30s on.
That's where Walt comes in
That's
with
where
that
he
big
comes in.
saxophone.
Yeah.
He lays the foundation for
That's
it.
what it is. And
I see.
I don't play an alto saxophone, which was popular with the big bands, Benny Goodman and all those. I play soprano saxophone lead, which gives us a different sound too. So
Yes.
And with us, it's the contrast between the small and the large to give us a contrast, and we hope a happy sound.
It has a happy sound and a very upbeat feel. Walt, in real life, you're a patent attorney,
Yes, patent and trademark attorney. I have my practice in Newport Beach.
and you do this. This is your
Right,
first
this-
love.
this-
Is that
this is
what's
this is
here?
an avocation, yes. I've played all the saxes, and you were speaking before about the contrast. John and I also have a combo, along with Ed Merrilies, who we met earlier, in which he plays the soprano, and I play the bass saxophone and piano, and that's the total of the...
That is a different sound,
Yeah.
I guess. You've got some wonderful songs in here. I want to hear a couple of them. Stray Cat Strut intrigues me. I'm anxious to hear that. And Sweet Georgia Brown, now that features the bass saxophone, doesn't it?
Right.
And you do it in a Charleston?
Yeah, basically.
So we're going to get some real good old-timey sounds here. So let's pause now and hear the Stray Cat Strut and Sweet Georgia Brown by Dr. Toot and his Musical Medicine Show. Stay with us.
Maid has got a shade on, sweet Georgia Brown. 2 left feet, but oh so neat has sweet Georgia Brown. They all sigh and want to die for sweet Georgia Brown. I'll tell you just why. You know I don't lie, well not much. It's been said she knocks 'em dead when she lands in town. Since she came, why it's a shame how she cools 'em down. Fellas, she can't get our fellers. She ain't met Georgia, named her Georgia, claimed her sweet Georgia Brown.
That was Bill Orr on the vocal and Walt Hackler on the bass saxophone on Sweet Georgia Brown. And I want to thank Dr. Toot and his Musical Medicine Show for being with us today. And thank you for joining us for Adventures in Life. And we're going to ask the band to take us out by playing a great Glenn Miller medley.